Okay, let's go straight to Kyiv this morning. Gaurav Sawant, who's India's most watched reporter in Ukraine at this point of time, giving us all the warfront updates, is with me live from the city. Good morning, Gaurav. Very, very dramatic video coming in from Kyiv this morning, Gaurav, of President Zelensky practically giving out his specific location. Incredible video. I'm sure it's already gone super viral, obviously coming amidst all these claims that he has fled to Poland, or, he's been assassinated, or that these are recorded videos that are being fabricated at this time. He's practically giving out his Google pin, saying, here I am, karo jo karna hai.
Shiv, that's the attitude of the Ukrainian president. That's the attitude of the people of Ukraine. They're facing tremendous hardships, and yet they refuse to buckle under Russian pressure. And it's remarkable to watch this. The video that you're talking about, you're absolutely right. It's super viral. When we were watching this, we were watching it with a group of Ukrainians, and they were actually clapping at this video. At a time when there was firing and shelling that could be heard at some distance away. There were two major air battles that were reported yesterday, very close to the skies of Kyiv. Shiv, I was reporting, camera person Pawan Kumar and I were reporting from Irpin yesterday, which has, as you very rightly pointed out, it's virtually been flattened. That bridge has been destroyed. People are crossing that bridge on foot. And it's very heartbreaking in a way to see some of those images that we've also put out here on India Today. So people come with their bags. They come with children in prams. Then they realize that pram cannot cross the bridge. So they leave the pram, hold on to the child, leave the bag behind, carry some things that are just essential in their hands, clutching onto whatever they can hold on to, cross the bridge, wait for an ICRC or an ambulance to take them to Kyiv and then out of harm's way. So yes, Shiv, this is what is happening in Irpin, and this is happening across several areas here in and around Kyiv, where the battle is coming close. While there is a ceasefire that's once again been announced by Russia for today,
yes,
but what happens after the ceasefire is what Kyiv is bracing for.
And describe for us what the ceasefire actually looks like, Gaurav. Since this ceasefire came into effect yesterday as well as today, has there been no combat whatsoever in and around Kyiv?
Shiv, in Kyiv, there was no combat yesterday. There was no shelling inside Kyiv yesterday. But we were in Irpin, so you just cross. It's like Delhi and Noida, or Delhi or Gurgaon, for the benefit of viewers back home. You just get out of Delhi and of Kyiv, and then there is massive shelling happening. The grads are going off one after the other, the multi-launch rocket systems. So you can hear in quick succession, whoop, 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 non-stop. It's these grads going off, and then thud, 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 they're landing there. The earth actually shakes around when that happens, and we were in a position to capture it on camera in Irpin yesterday when this was happening. There are destroyed trucks there, and yet you have Ukrainian soldiers who are who are holding their ground, because their ultimate aim is, it's almost like, till the last bullet, last round, they will protect the entrance to Kyiv.
Yes.
And Irpin is that entrance to Kyiv. Similarly, Ostomel is that entrance that they have to protect. Bucha is that entrance they have to protect. That is being flattened out right now before that attack into Kyiv comes in. So it's very cold. I mean, look, this lake behind me, it's absolutely frozen. It's snowing here. It was -4 at night. It's -2 right now. It's likely to become -6 over the next couple of nights. So it's very, very cold, and these soldiers are out in the open. In some instances, the civilians are out in the open just with their Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
They're smoking, of course, a lot. There's a ban on sale of alcohol, because they want everyone to be absolutely alert and not use alcohol, to either keep themselves warm or to fight, and be absolutely alert. So that's the situation on the front lines, and these front lines are virtually on the outskirts of Kyiv now, Shiv.
And, while we've been talking to Gaurav as well, we can very often hear the shelling, because the sounds are so loud that we can hear the shelling. Gaurav, thanks for joining me for the moment. I'll come back to you in just a short while. Remember that one of the most defining images from day 13 of the hostilities has been an image of a church that had been struck, a church that had been struck in Ukraine, and it's become one of the most shared images on day 13 of the hostilities. And the reason why it has become one of the most, it'll be on your screen in just a moment, the reason why it has become, that's the one, the reason why it's become one of the most shared images is because Ukrainians believe that taking refuge inside religious places will actually keep them safe because the Russians will not attack. Well, this picture, appears to debunk that. We also had this live report from inside one of those famous churches inside Kyiv, which is a city that could be besieged very soon. Take a look at this report by Rajesh Pawar.
Behind me is the big cathedral of Santa Sophia. It's a 1,000-year-old cathedral and one of the biggest centers of Orthodox Christianity. Ukrainians believe that Russians will never attack this church because Russians revere this church as much as the Ukrainians, as both these countries, people, both Ukrainians and Russians, follow the same faith, Orthodox Christianity. And they believe if anybody damages this church, then they will be cursed, evil will come to them. And that is the reason they believe that Russians will never attack this place. And this square is called Santa Sophia Square, one of the busiest square in Kyiv in normal days. And look how deserted it looks right now. This is Rajesh Pawar for India.
Gaurav, coming back to you regarding what's happening in Kyiv at this point of time. No combat inside, but missile attacks, grad attacks, shelling still taking place, on the outskirts. The ceasefire holding for now, second day running in Kyiv and a couple of other cities. What are the defenders of Kyiv expecting to see happen over the rest of this week? Is that big assault coming, Gaurav? Okay, we'll go back to Gaurav in just a moment. I think he's just shifting positions because he's on the outskirts of Kyiv. So we'll just give him 30 seconds to connect back with us so we can... Okay, we'll get back to him. Well, as the Russian convoy, the famous Russian convoy that we've been talking about for the last many days, as this huge convoy of Russian armored vehicles, tanks, armored personnel carriers and trucks encircles Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv, residents have fled the city in the past 12 days. A cultural center 40 kilometers from Kyiv has now been converted into a help and distribution center. India Today gets you this exclusive report.
40 kilometers from Kyiv city, this is Mosaic, and this is their cultural center, which now has become a center to collect all the supplies that can be distributed to various villages, from food supplies to blankets over there to a lot of essential toiletries, all of that being collected and then being distributed. Their pillows, drinks, stuff for children, for infants. At one point in time over here, people would come, villagers would come to enjoy maybe a play, musical, people, young children singing. But today, this has become a place where all of them are on board to ensure that the supplies that have been cut off do not render them absolutely helpless and do not have people in the villages starving. And that's the reason why you see a lot of the community people, villagers who come together from various parts just to get things together and help each other in these difficult times. With video journalist Pavan Kumar, this is 40 kilometers away from Kyiv. Geeta Mohan for India Today.
In almost 2 weeks since hostilities began in Ukraine, and amidst this steady escalation of this crisis, Ukraine continues to make claims that it is holding its own against the far superior Russian armed forces. The latest claim to be made, Ukraine says it has shot down more than 7 Russian helicopters and fighter jets in just the last 72 hours, including Su-34 fighter bombers, Mi-35 attack helicopters, and Su-25 strike jets. Take a look.
Russia fiercely escalates airstrikes on Ukraine. It is using its fighter jets to hit key Ukrainian cities. In the last 72 hours, Putin has unleashed the fury of Russia's hellbirds on Kyiv and Kharkiv. Ukraine claims to have shot down a Sukhoi Su-34 fighter bomber in Kharkiv on Monday. They have released images of the debris of a Russian plane, completely destroyed and demolished. Ukraine also claims it has shot down more than 7 Russian war machines in the last 3 days, including jets and Mi-35 choppers. Ukrainian authorities have shared several images of pilots who they claim are Russians now in their custody. Russia is using its formidable air superiority to control Ukraine's skies. The most visible Russian aircraft in the Ukraine war is the Sukhoi Su-25, a tough Soviet-era bird that's taken on most attack duties. The Mi-24 is also being used by the Russian forces. They are sturdy, heavily armed, and used to support ground troops. The third Russian aircraft seen in the skies over Ukraine is the Sukhoi Su-34, a supersonic medium-range fighter bomber used for tactical strikes. Su-34 have been in eastern and northern Ukraine. Another Russian attack helicopter on combat duty is the Kamau Ka-52. These images of one such helicopter made to force land went viral during the early days of the invasion. Several more are said to be flying sorties on the northern border. The images coming from Ukraine show Russia's plans are striking deeper inside Ukraine than earlier believed. These airstrikes could be the prelude to the real battle for Kyiv. Bureau Report, India Today.